Yo, what is up, guys? It's Cone back here again today with another video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the NBA draft as a whole. Yesterday, I dropped a video talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder's draft, and while that was a lot of fun, there are 29 other teams that I want to talk about, and so this is going to be my final draft video, just recapping every single team's draft and giving my thoughts. This article grades each draft. I'm not going to be looking at Kyle Irving, I guess Kyrie Irving's long-lost cousin. I'm not going to be looking at his draft grades that much because I want to form my own opinions on this stuff. This is just a list that I managed to find of every team's draft class, including all guys that got traded back and forth between teams. So that's what I'm using this for. So don't worry too much about the draft grades. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on each draft class kind of briefly because I don't want this to take a year. And we're going through all 30 teams, so it could. So make sure you like and subscribe. Look out for future videos, including free agency, is coming up very, very soon in just a couple of days. I'm going to drop a video predicting where each big name free agent ends up, so you don't want to miss out on that, as well as all the other offseason content coming up. So make sure you subscribe. Appreciate you watching, and we'll go ahead and get into it. So it's going to be in alphabetical order. So first up, we have the Atlanta Hawks. I really like the Hawks draft. They got Jalen Johnson with the 20th overall pick, and with the 48th overall pick, kind of a steal, they got Sharif Cooper out of Auburn. Jalen Johnson is a guy that was a top 10 guy for a lot of the time of this draft cycle, ended up falling due to poor play at Duke, but ultimately I think it might have been more of a product of situation. I think he could really excel for the Hawks in kind of a point forward role, and I think ultimately he might be poised to take the role of Cam Reddish. He seems like a guy they might be considering to trade because they don't want to have to pay all these different guys. They're about to pay John Collins a ton of money. They're going to pay DeAndre Hunter at some point. Kevin Huerter's going to demand some money, and it just kind of seems like Cam Reddish is the odd man out. So to replace him with a guy like Jalen Johnson is a pretty good start. Then with Sharif Cooper, great playmaker and someone who gives them a good backup point guard, someone that can actually play make while Trey's on the bench, which is something that they've needed a lot. So I really like this draft. I thought it was a good one for them. The Celtics only took someone that I've never heard of with the 45th overall pick. He's a draft and stash, so I don't have too much to say about this one. The Brooklyn Nets drafted a lot of people for a team that's kind of competing for a championship, which is surprising. They got Cam Thomas, Day'Ron Sharpe, Kessler Edwards, and then I don't recognize these other two names. I apologize. But what I can say about the guys that I do know, for Cam Thomas, he can score off the bench, gives them a cheap option, solid pickup, someone that can try and replace like a Landry Shamet, who they traded away to pick up another first-round pick, which they used on Day'Ron Sharpe, who I like a lot as a big man for them going forward. DeAndre Jordan's kind of seemed to have fallen out of favor, and Nick Claxton is a good option, but you need to have some depth there at that position for a team that lacks a lot of big man defense. Sharpe could hopefully help out with that. And then Kessler Edwards, I don't know a lot about him, just provides more depth, I guess. So I thought this was a solid draft. No crazy moves or anything, but shoring up a team trying to make a title run. The Hornets had one of the best drafts out of anyone. James Bouknight, Kai Jones, JT Thor, Scotty Lewis. Great draft for the Hornets, especially James Bouknight. I thought he could go all the way to the Thunder at 6. Ended up falling for whatever reason. It seems like not just the Thunder, but a lot of different teams weren't in on him. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a great scorer. Kai Jones fills a need and is a great player. A super athletic center. Can catch some lobs from LaMelo Ball. You have JT Thor, who I would have loved on the Thunder as well. They kind of got the draft I thought the Thunder were going to have. Great draft from them. I really, really like it. If I had to pick a biggest winner for this draft, the Hornets are one of the teams that I would consider for that position. Amazing. Really, really good. Chicago Bulls, they only had one draft pick because they traded their first round pick to the Magic for Vucevic. We'll get to the Magic in a little bit. And they got Ayo Dosunmu out of Illinois. Chicago guy, played in Illinois in college. Great scorer. I think he's going to impact the game immediately. Good playmaker. He's going to be a great piece for them coming off the bench this season behind either Kobe White or who knows, maybe like Alonzo Ball if they pick him up in free agency. I thought this was a great great value for the pick that they had. Next, the Cavaliers, one pick, Evan Mobley. He's going to be a superstar. I don't need to talk much about this. If I'm a Cavs fan, I'm super happy that they stayed pat. As a Thunder fan who really wanted Evan Mobley, I'm sad that we didn't get him. But at the same time, Cavaliers fans should be super psyched. I think Evan Mobley has the potential to be the best player in this entire draft class and is a superstar in the making. Followed by the Mavericks, who had no draft picks, but they're making some trades right now, trading Richardson to the Celtics, bringing in Moses Brown, so maybe they're going all in on free agency. The Denver Nuggets picking up Bones Highland, Nishan Highland, Bones Highland, whatever one you want to call him. I like this pick a lot. They needed a backcourt guy to replace Jamal Murray, who's going to be out for this season. He's a good scorer, and that's exactly what they needed. Facu is great and all, but he's not quite the scorer that you need next to the rest of that roster. So to bring in a guy like Bones Highland, really going to help them out in that regard. Going to give them some scoring, not only while Jamal Murray is out, but when Jamal Murray comes back as well. I think he's going to be a good fit anyways. Pistons, they got Cade Cunningham. I don't think we need to talk much more about this. Isaiah Livers is cool, and Luka Garza, why not take a flyer? They got Cade Cunningham. They killed it. Next, the Golden State Warriors. I like this draft a lot. A lot of people don't like this draft for them because, especially with the Kuminga pick, because they're trying to win now. And I get that. But if there's anyone that can help a guy like Kuminga, who's kind of raw, really find his potential, it's playing next to Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. I think Kuminga is going to be pretty good. I think they're just going to have him be a slasher. They can have him pop out and try and hit some threes every now and again. Kuminga is going to be good on the Warriors, and not only that, but he's super young to the point where not only can maybe he help you out now, but in a future where Curry maybe leaves or Curry starts to decline, Klay Thompson declines, when the team is not like in that title contention type stratosphere, they still have the opportunity to be a good team because they have young guys like a Jonathan Kuminga and like a Moses Moody, who is a great scorer, and he's only 19 years old. I like this a lot. I thought they had a great draft. Another one of my winners of the draft. Followed up by another winner of the draft, in my opinion, the Houston Rockets. They had a great draft, got Jalen Green. He's their guy, going to be their go-to scorer. I love that for them. I think he's going to be really good in Houston. Got Şengün from with the Thunder's 16th overall pick that we traded them for 2 future firsts. Good playmaking big. He can help them out. Usman Garuba can be a defensive guy, defensive anchor even at the forward or small ball center position. And then Josh Christopher is a good guard. I like this a lot, and I think that ultimately it's just a matter of seeing how these pieces fit together. But in terms of the talent that they got, one of the most talented draft classes out of any team. I like this a lot for the Houston Rockets. Next, the Indiana Pacers. This was a fine draft, I guess. Chris Duarte is solid. He's a good player to pick up if you're trying to win now. And I like Isaiah Jackson. He's someone who is going to be able to kind of chill under Miles Turner. He's raw. He doesn't have to impact the game immediately. He's just going to chill, see what happens. And not only can he learn from Miles Turner, but maybe from Domantas Sabonis as well. I don't love that they had to give up Aaron Holiday to make this happen. I know he wasn't in their long-term plans. They also had to give up, I think it was like 4 second-round picks to make all this happen. Trying to win now, I get it. It makes sense with the Chris Duarte pick. Let's just see what the Pacers can do. If he's as good as it seems like a lot of people think he can be, and they end up being a win-now team, then this could be a better draft than I give him credit for. Next, the Los Angeles Clippers. They got good value. Keon Johnson is a good guy who can come in. He's an athletic freak. Has one of the I think he has the highest vertical out of any player in the history of the NBA Combine. Good player. Jason Preston, good guard that they needed in case they lose maybe like a Reggie Jackson. And then bringing in Brandon Boston. Why not take a flyer on a guy like that at 51? I thought this was a good draft class for them. Yeah, the Clippers made good value from what they had. Lakers, no draft picks, but they added Russell Westbrook. So, good draft. The Grizzlies, this is an interesting one for them. Zaire Williams is reportedly a guy that they wanted for a really long time, as well as I think Aldama is another guy that they wanted. Zaire Williams wasn't very good in college, but he's really a boomer bust type guy. He's either going to be really good or I like this pick. I think it's a solid pick. I would say it was a bit of a reach, but there was reports that even the Magic were considering him at 8. So I trust the Grizzlies. I trust what they're doing. They've been drafting really, really well. He was a guy that was a top 10 level guy before his college season. Just didn't play great, and if he's able to find that potential, he could end up being a stud for them at pick 10. The Miami Heat didn't have a single draft pick, but they signed about every single undrafted free agent that exists. So, solid night for them. The Bucks drafted guys at 54 and 60 that, to be honest, I don't know who they are, so they're a title contender, oh well. The Minnesota Timberwolves, no draft picks either. We were going through a bit of a cold streak in the draft, so we'll just move on to the Pelicans. I like this pick a lot. They picked up Trey Murphy at pick 17. I don't know a lot about Herb Jones out of Alabama, but According here, it says that he took home Defensive Player of the Year honors. So, great defensive player. That's what they need. I like that pick. Trey Murphy III is a great shooter. He's going to pop out, be a 3-and-D guy for the Pelicans. They need some shooting next to Zion Williamson, and that's exactly what they get. He's going to be really good. I'm a UVA fan. I go to UVA, so I'm biased towards the UVA guys, but I like this pick. The Knicks picking up Quentin Grimes. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. I'm going to learn eventually. Miles McBride and Jericho Sims. This was a good draft class for them. Quentin Grimes, I think, is going to be a solid piece. I almost wish they didn't trade down so much. It felt like the Thunder kept taking their guys. There was reports that they wanted Trey Mann, and then we ended up taking him, so they traded down. I think Quentin Grimes is going to be a good player. I just would have liked to see them get a little more, I don't know, a little more of a splash in this draft, but they got some solid pieces, and I think ultimately the big splash they're going to get is in free agency, so it's not the end of the world. The Thunder. I like our draft class a lot. I know a lot of people don't like the draft class a ton, but I really like it. If you want to watch my thoughts on it, go check out my video I dropped yesterday. It was like a 10-minute video talking all about this draft class. So for the people that did watch that, I won't go super into this. Just know that I like our draft class a lot. The Orlando Magic picking up Jalen Suggs at pick 5 was kind of a steal in my opinion. I'm shocked he didn't go 4, but you know, Scotty Barnes, apparently a lot of people were high on him, so it makes sense. Jalen Suggs getting him at 5 is a steal. Franz Wagner is going to be a solid 3-and-D type guy. He's just an all-around good player, and that's what you need adding to the Magic. Of course, the problem is the fit doesn't work at all well for the Orlando Magic. Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, these are all guards that they have on their roster that they've got to try and figure out how to work all of them into the rotation. But ultimately, when you are at the point in the rebuild that the Orlando Magic are, you take the best player available. That was Jalen Suggs. I like the pick. The 76ers bringing in Jaden Springer. I believe this is Philippe Petrusev and Charles Bassey. Good picks. They needed a guard. Yeah, like it says here, they needed a guard and a big. That's what they got. Bassey is talented. If he continues to develop, he's going to be solid. Jaden Springer is he has the potential to be kind of a 3-and-D guy if his game really pans out. Just bringing in solid pieces to help out a championship team. I like it. The Suns, no draft picks, but they brought in Landry Shamet, so that's cool, I guess. The Trailblazers bringing in Greg Brown. He's an athlete, gives them a lob threat for Damian Lillard. Sure, why not bring in a guy like that, I guess. The Kings. This was one of the weirdest picks of the draft to me. I like Davion Mitchell. He's a good on-ball defender at the guard position. That's what they needed. They needed some defense. But they've got De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton as their guards of the future. It looks like they're moving on from Buddy Hield. So that's their backcourt of the future. So where does Davion Mitchell fit in? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe you could try and do like a Halliburton at the small forward if you wanted to. I like Davion Mitchell. I just don't like the fit here with the Sacramento Kings. I thought there was other options they could go with, or maybe they could have traded down. But if Davion Mitchell was their guy, he was their guy. So, you know, I like Davion Mitchell as a player. I just don't love the fit for the Sacramento Kings. The Spurs picking Josh Primo. This was a shocking pick to go with him at pick 12. He's someone that I thought was going to go in the 20s. And picking him at pick 12, I mean, I guess. He has really high upside. And yeah, like it says here, he's the youngest player in the draft. So I get why they picked him. But this felt really early. Unless somehow a team at like 13, 14, 15, unless a team somewhere in there was like, we want Josh Primo, the Spurs should have traded back. Something I do believe in is making sure you get the guy that you want, so don't worry about trading back, but it just felt early. I think Primo can be really good. I'm just shocked he went at 12, in my opinion. The Toronto Raptors, we've got Scotty Barnes going 4th overall to them. Shocking pick. There was a couple reports here and there that he would be picked up by them, but ultimately what this tells me is that the Toronto Raptors are going to move on from Siakam. That's what I'm thinking, because you can't really fit in Siakam and OG Anunoby as well as Scotty Barnes in a lineup unless you play Siakam at a small ball center maybe. I don't know. It's definitely a weird pick from what they have now, but like I said, I do think they're going to be making a trade for trading away Pascal Siakam. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited for the Raptors' future. I think they've got a fun young core, and I like Scotty Barnes as a player. The Utah Jazz getting Jared Butler. Good pick. He was someone that I thought could go at in the 20s or even to the 18th overall pick to the Thunder because we were kind of linked to him. But going here at pick 40, adding a backup point guard, which they desperately needed, it makes sense, and I like the pick. Next, we've got the Wizards. Actually, the last team, we've got the Wizards. Corey Kispert and Isaiah Todd. These are solid pickups. Corey Kispert is a good guy to bring in if you're trying to continue to build around Beal, which it kind of sounds like they're going to. And Isaiah Todd is a high potential guy, played well in the G League Ignite, and he can be a good piece for them if he's able to kind of hone his really raw skills. So, those are all my thoughts on the draft. Let me know what you thought of all the draft picks. Let me know if there are any guys you think I'm too low on, too high on. If I was wrong about your team's draft, let me know in the comment section below. And why don't you subscribe if you think I was wrong or right? Either way, make sure you subscribe. I appreciate you watching. The draft was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my live stream, for tuning into the last video as well as this video. I appreciate you. If you made it to this point in the video, drop a the Thunder had a good draft in the comment section below to, kind of help that propaganda get rolling. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys later. Everyone say it back.